Hey everyone, this is Tara the Painted Cicada. Welcome. This is my rock painting video, take 2. Hopefully it works this time. Sorry about going live. There is a bug in the software that I use that if I mute and I try to unmute, it doesn't unmute. So I totally botched that up. I should have known better, and I did it anyway. So it was a habit thing. Anyway, I'm live now. We should be good. I'm going to pin this so that people can find it, and then post a link, a linky link. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's try this again. So, rock painting. This month I am really inspired by painting rocks. I hope you've seen some of the things everybody's been posting and have been inspired by that. Rock painting is super fun to do. I love to do it kind of right before spring because I am always itching to get out and just enjoy the weather and have a good time and, share a little art and have fun with things. So here's my rock. The first thing that I did was I added a base coat, and that just seals the rock so that it's no longer a porous surface and I can add my paint on there. So I just sealed it. I added a layer of pink on there. Let me add a picture of what we're doing here. All right, so this is what we're making today. If you're going to paint along with me, feel free to do the exact same design, or you can just paint something for fun. No stress. Do whatever you'd like to do. All right, so the first thing I did, I just added a base coat of pink to seal the rock. Now I'm going to mix up some magenta and white. I'm going to lighten this magenta quite a bit here. All right. So on my brush, I'm going to get just a little bit of this bright pink and white. I want both colors, and I'm just going to come through and start adding some brush strokes. And I want the brush strokes to have more than one color. So I'm starting out with white and pink. Now I'm going to add, here on my brush, I've got blue and white, and I'm just going to kind of mix that in. And I'm just creating whimsical brush strokes for this background. Okay, there's no right or wrong. This is just going to be our pink background here. So feel free to add more or less of whatever color it is that you like. And we're just creating a fun background. So the 3 colors that I used was magenta, and I lightened that with white. And then I've got blue, just a nice light sky blue. So I'm just adding in patches of color. All right, now I'm going to dry this so that I'm not wasting. Yay, I'm back. Yeah. There was a glitch. I knew I shouldn't have muted. There's a glitch in the program that I use to go live, and they put out a thing this morning that said there's a glitch and they're working on it. Don't mute. If you mute, you won't be able to come back from it. And I read it and I'm like, okay. And then out of habit, when I use my dryer, I always mute. And I did it, and then I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. But Old habits die hard. All right. Oh, there you are, Terry. I can see your name now. Yay. So just to show anybody who's watching, there are a variety of programs out there where you have to give permission, and all it does is it gives the app permission to show your name on screen. So if you don't give permission, you look like this. If you do give permission, you look like this, and I can see your name, and seeing your name is awesome. So if you can do that, that would be fabulous for everybody that's watching. The instructions are at the top of the post, I believe, or here on the video. Right now I'm going to, so I painted my background here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to zap this with my heat gun so that we can move forward. So I am not going to mute. Sorry about the noise. All right, back to business. So basically you can paint any, any background that you want. I chose to do with kind of this brush strokey pink and blue thing going on here. And then what we're going to do is paint in a simple rainbow. So I'm going to use a nice small brush. I've got a teeny tiny flat here, and I'm going to get 3 different colors of green. So this is Hooker's green. It's just kind of a nice grassy green. I've got light green permanent, which is a nice light green. Phthalo green is also another green you can use. I'll probably just use that for highlights and such. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of this to the side and make an olive green. So an easy way to make olive green is to add just a little bit of red to your green, and that will dull it down just a little bit. So let's see if I can olive green this baby up. If you don't have red, you could also just add a little bit of that magenta. Let's see. I want this to be a smidge more olive. I like that. I might add a tiny bit of yellow just to brighten it. But I don't need a lot. Let's see. All right, so there are my 3 greens. And basically, we're just going to draw in this rainbow. Over here on the side, I'm going to have a shamrock. So let's see. I'm going to start with my smallest. I'm probably going to make 5, just like in the sample. I am going to create 5 little stripes here. Oops, this is not completely dry, but that's okay. You know what's funny is I just bought this fun little rainbow stencil. Totally should have used the stencil. That was my duh moment for today. All right, so I'm starting with my olive green, and then I'm just going to alternate. So olive green. And then I'm going to do, this is my light green. And then I've got my darker green, my hooker's green here. This is really meant just to be playful, so don't stress too much about the design and the rainbow and all of that. All right, then I'm going to go back to my olive green. And then my bright green. And of course, you don't even have to do a green rainbow. If you want to do a Roy G. Biv rainbow, you can do that. Do anything that you want. All right, so once you kind of have your rainbow sketched on there, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add a second coat just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Oops. Kind of making a bigger mess. That's okay. Yes, I love boho colors. Really, I love playing with color schemes, any kind of color schemes, to be honest. I've been playing a little bit this month with dotting and dot mandalas, and Deco Art has some fun color packs, and they have these color packs that they released this year that were zodiac signs. And I'm not real big into the zodiac, but they had like, I think, what is it, 10 or 12 different color packs, and they were all fun in their own way. And so I'm having to try to refrain from buying 100 of those, but I just got 2 of them because I really like how they have the colors just kind of divided up. All right, so there's my beginning rainbow there. All right, we are going to switch. I'm going to switch to a round brush, and I'm going to take this bright green here, and I'm going to add a little bit of cadmium yellow. And I'm going to create a brand new green. This is going to be my shamrock green. All right. Then I'm going to draw my 4-leaf clover. And these are super easy to draw. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark for my center. And then each leaf is basically a heart. So let's see. I am just going to kind of sketch that in four leaves. And then I'm going to turn each of those sections into a heart. Now my rock is sort of curved here, so I can see this really well in person, but I know on screen it looks a little off center. But that's what happens when you paint with rocks, right? All right, so I've got my first coat of that on there. And then we give it a little stem. And I'll probably add a second coat. All right, once again, I'm going to dry this. It should not take too long. All right, so that's nice and dry. Now I can add a second coat on my shamrock. Might need to mix up a little more paint here. Of course, this shamrock is going to be the star of the show here, so I want to make sure that it's nice and bright. There we go. All right, so I'm going to let that dry. And kind of the magic of this rock happens when we add in some fun little details. And so I'm going to use black and white for that. I'm going to add some black onto my palette and just a pinch of water. Because anytime I do fine details, I want that to be a little bit thinner so that it's nice and smooth when I move my brush. So we want a nice fluid black, and I'm using a teeny tiny liner brush. If you don't have one of these, Arteza makes fantastic liner brushes, fabulous, really tiny detail brushes. And so I'm going to outline each of my rainbow sections here with black. And this rock is not a tumbled stone, so it's got lots of texture on it. So if you see bumps and squiggles, that's what that's all about. If you have a paint pen or a Sharpie, you can also use those to help make nice clean lines. Sometimes that's easier than using a brush. Texture's getting me a little bit with this rock here. It's looking a little bit more like a third grader did it than an artist, but that's okay. Because I'm just going to have fun and keep on painting my rock. All right, so each of these little sections here just gets a nice black outline. I've got a little piece over here that just did not get painted enough, so I'm going to fill that in. All right, so then we just start doodling. So here on this bottom rainbow, in my sample, I've just got black dots, so I can come through and just add some black dots in here. Just following the shape of that rainbow. And then I'm going to leave that green one nice and bright here. Let's see. I think this one a little dark, so I'm going to add a little more white highlights than I did in my sample. Thanks, Terry. I like to have that up in the corner just so that everybody knows where they're going. I think one of the hardest things for me when I'm painting, if I'm following a lesson or something like that, is I can always listen to the instructor, but it's hard unless you know where they're going, and then I end up being behind because I wait to see. So having a sample is super helpful for me. So just some dashes there. And then up here at the top rainbow, I'm going to add in some hearts. And I'm going to alternate between black hearts and white hearts. And then really the last step is to add the outline on your shamrock. And that's really going to make that shamrock pop. And so that is my fun rainbow painted rock. Just for a little bit of pizzazz, I'm going to add in some glitter right on top of that shamrock because I love glitter. I am a glitter person. And if you're painting, you can certainly add any kind of fun details that you want to your rock. I'm just about finished. I might add a little gold liner, but I love to add glitter and gold to almost everything that I do. So I can't wait to see what kind of rock you paint today and how you kind of take this and make it your own. So make sure you share with me in the group, or you can always just tag me at Painted Cicada on social media. And I can't wait to see what you make. If you decide to make something other than a St. Patrick's Day rock, I would love to see it. But I hope you're inspired to paint on rocks this month and share it around town. So I encourage you to paint a rock and leave it for somebody to find. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will be back later this week with another fun and free rock painting tutorial. And I hope that you will join me. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining me live, Terry.